Hey everybody, what's up? This is Ken here from Doorbell Digital Marketing with your free training on how to charge 5 times more for your services while working half as hard. So in this training, you guys are going to learn how to charge more money for the work that you're doing, work with clients that don't suck, and actually deliver them consistent results, all while working half as hard. So it's pretty simple. I'm not going to waste your time. Let's get right into the training. So first of all, you got to ask yourself, is this right for you? It's not right for everybody, but if you've never had a 5K month, if you've only had a few 5K months, this is definitely for you. If you're not sure how to sell larger clients, how to sell those 5K plus contracts, this is definitely for you if you're just stuck on those small jobs or hourly jobs. If you don't seem like you have any scalable or repeatable processes, this is key, and we'll get into this later, but you feel like you're just making things up as you go. And with that, you know that you have skill. You know that your skill that you provide, whether it's SEO, copywriting, content marketing, web dev, web strategy, you're confident, but you can't really show that ROI, or you're not confident in showing the ROI. And you kind of tend to be confused, and you know there's a lot of information on how you can get help, but you're not sure where to go and how to get that knowledge ingrained and intertwined with your processes. You're sort of stuck in a cycle of hustle, like we all are in the Gary V age of hustle hard, but you're not getting those recurring or reliable clients. We don't want that. And if you just have the worst clients in the world, they don't respect you, they don't pay you. If any of that sounds like you, then this is definitely for you. So just stop and think. Sit down, take a minute. How would it feel to have clients that are glad to pay you? They pay their bills on time. They're easy to work with. And you're getting those clients predictable results, and you're actually helping the businesses that you work with in a tangible way. How would it feel to have systems in place to keep those clients paying you each month, and that you can do that in a reliable way? How would it feel to be able to do those things and make more money with the exact same amount of work, or even less work? It happened for me, doing exactly what I'm about to share with you. You can afford to take a breath, go get brunch on Sunday, and not have a panic attack wondering how you're going to pay your bills every week and every month. And finally, just have some consistency in your life and your business. Just think about those. It's a great thought, isn't it? Well, here we go. This is how to do it. So your secret sauce. This is how to get your revenue to a consistent 5 to 10K per month. We're going to go over how to position your services for higher ticket sales, how to target the right clients, how to create scalable and repeatable processes and systems that'll get those results on a consistent basis for you, how to delegate and automate tasks so you're not doing everything yourself and running yourself, just digging an early grave from that hourly mindset mentality, and becoming lead, value, revenue focused, because business owners have a hard time with KPIs, even though if you're techie, if you're nerdy, you love your KPIs, but we'll get into that in a bit of why that's not the best approach. Let's get to it. So, step number 1 is positioning yourself in the right ways. So the first thing, just right away, don't pigeonhole yourself in terms of working under your own name. Now, some of you, if you have a lot of different things that you want to offer, that's fine, but don't limit what you're offering right away. Because the second you dig yourself into, I do this, or I don't do that, you've eliminated potential clients. So what you want to focus on is your deliverable. What do you offer them? Leads, safety in their business, revenue. With that, I'm going to jump around a little bit. Unless you are famous, unless you're well known in your space, use a brand name. That's why we're Doorbell Digital Marketing. That represents more than myself. I'm an entity that helps solve the business's problems that I work with. If I was Ken Marshall, that puts an unnecessary burden on people expecting to work with me. All the responsibility falls on my shoulder instead of the brand and what the brand represents. So you really want to think about what is a brand name and what are the core deliverables and end results that I want to offer. That's how you should merge. For instance, we offer mostly SEO, content marketing, and paid ads. Why is it Doorbell Digital Marketing? Because we're going to be around for a long time. That might be serving people ads in virtual reality in the next 2 to 5 years. That's why it's digital marketing. So think about that. Think about your positioning. Utilize partnerships. If you're building out ClickFunnels or you use Moz to do Moz audits for people, leverage those platforms. Leverage ClickFunnels and Moz's community platforms. Partnerships are great. They don't have to take the spotlight. They can help accelerate you to get you to where you need to be. And lastly, your web presence is everything. How you exist online is how your prospects are going to perceive you to be. If your Facebook page only has cat memes, doesn't say a lick about what you do, you don't have a LinkedIn profile that's optimized for your business, for your company, what you do, their benefits, nobody cares. You're irrelevant. And that's not to say you have to spend $30,000 on a professionally designed website or get a team together to help you out. You just need to have it that reflects what you do. If you have a website, get your services on there. Clean it up a little bit. People will look you up. Your prospects will look you up, and you need to be positioned correctly, that they understand what you do and respect what you do from the get-go. And the same thing with utilizing that brand name. Build a brand. You're not a freelancer, or if you are, that's not what you want to be. Moving on. You need to target your ideal clientele. The right kind of people that are going to be your ideal people to work with. And also, if you're not writing this down, get a pad, get a pen, get a pencil. Write it down. This is important. The first thing, you need to find clients. You need to go after clients that are problem and solution aware. If we're talking about leads, these are hot leads, not warm, not cold. Go after prospects who are problem aware. They know that they're not generating enough leads. They're not getting enough business. They want to scale. They're having to do too much work with their sales and marketing if you do SEO like I do, so they want an inbound solution where it's running on autopilot without them. And they're solution aware. They know exactly what they need to fix the problem. They just don't know who to give the money to, right? And that's where you step in. These are folks who are savvy business people. They're not very technology oriented or savvy or literate, and they know exactly what they need. They just don't know how it's packaged, how much to pay for it, where to go to seek out the help. Those are the people you need to target. Also, these need to be established businesses. For most of you, it is not going to make sense to work with new or small businesses, at least not if you want to make consistent money. Working with startups is different. Startups have investors. So that can make sense, but in general, you want established businesses because they have money. They're profitable. They know in order to grow, they have to spend a little bit of money. That's what smart business owners do. Target those people. There's many different ways to go after people that are profitable. That's not what this training is about. Just keep that in mind. You need to have the confidence to approach businesses making money to help make them even more money. Third, You actually have to be confident that you can do good work for your ideal clients. If you're out here touting services that you can't actually come through on, or you don't know how to get them those results, that's going to come through. They're either going to figure it out in the beginning and you're not going to have the confidence to charge enough money. The campaign's not going to go well, so they're not going to trust you to keep giving you their money. Or a combination of just mishmash things going wrong because of that. So make sure to map what you can actually do in a huge way and add value to the businesses that you want to work with. But that's why you've decided to do this freelance thing. That's why you've decided to build your agency, because you have that confidence. But just make sure to match up what you do with what you can guarantee them. Well, it needs to be almost 100% overlap. And this last one is going to be a huge paradigm shift in your mentality for a lot of you. But you need to qualify your clients, your prospects, your future clients. What I mean by that is when you start to work with a client or you jump on a sales call, they'll ask you questions about your experience, history, testimonials. They'll look you up. They're qualifying you. They're making sure that you can actually do what you say you can do. And you need to do the same with them. You need to ask them, what's your revenue like? Are you willing to put in the work and allow me to do what I do best to get you results? Is this going to be a problem when I implement changes on your website? Right? You need to have these things in mind to ask them to make sure that they're right for working with you. That's such a key thing, because not only will it save you headaches of working with them, but those headaches that you save will allow you to do more quality work, which will keep both of you happy long term. One of my favorite things, and this is where there's a huge gap in a lot of practitioners in the digital marketing space. Systems, 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 systems. It's all about repeatability. This is so powerful because once you start understanding how to create and build upon these systems, life just gets a lot better. The first point is you need to keep track of what you do. Every single time you implement a strategy, you make a change to a website, you do an audit, you send out sales copy, send out an email, record exactly what the way you're doing it is. At first, if you don't know the optimal way, record it anyway. I'll say that again. Record everything you do. If you're not aware of what you're doing, you can't make it better. You can't improve upon it. Second, repetition. It's key. You need to do what you're doing in the way that works the exact same way every single time. Now, it's up to you to, based on your processes that you've recorded, to figure out the path of least resistance that gets the best results. But once you've found that from recording it and analyzing it, repeat it over and over again till it's muscle memory, so you can do it in your sleep. That's how you can start to predict and guarantee results, and that's how you get paid more. Along with that, don't make your processes different every time or more difficult on yourself than it need be. You've got to find if you haven't heard of the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, you want to find the 20% of what you're doing that actually leads to the 80% of results. Now, I don't know what that is exactly in your business, but you need to make your processes centered around getting those things done first, and then making them easily and intuitively repeatable for yourself and for others. And I'll get into how you integrate others into your workflow later, but just keep that in mind as a baseline. They need to be easy to repeat. And lastly, you need to set client expectations early on. You need to set how things are going to be, how you're going to work with them, and make sure that they're okay with your processes and the results you're going to give. The reason for this being is that they have to understand that you're going to get them the results the way that you're going to get them those results. If they start asking you to change things or you're customizing all these different solutions, it's not going to be predictable, it's not going to be scalable, and that's where those gaps are going to start accumulating, and that's going to be why you're not going to be able to charge that premium. And while you're not going to be able to have consistency for your own business or provide them with consistency of results, so systems, processes, you have to dial this stuff in. Moving on. Also, top 3 principles that help move the needle for me. Delegate, automate as often as possible. There's this notion that just because you're good at something that you have to do it yourself, and to be honest, that's probably the main thing that's keeping you from doing work beyond yourself, which is what a business is, right? You started your company to have autonomy of your time and freedom, but doing everything yourself is one of the reasons that's preventing you from being able to do that. So you have to stop thinking that everything needs to be done by you. What that means is you need to, as Gary Vee would say, you need to triple down on your strengths. Spend your time doing the things that affect your business the most and with your clients that are your absolute zones of genius, if not your single zone of genius. This allows you, again, to be ridiculously confident on the results you can provide. And it doesn't suck up your time learning how to do new things or searching for how-tos because you promised something for somebody for a couple $100 that you can't even do. It allows you to charge a premium for yourself because you have such a depth of expertise. You don't need to do everything yourself. And I understand in the beginning that, we'll talk about this later, that you can't go hire a team of 20 if you're a freelancer, but there are ways to offboard the tasks and things that you're doing so that you don't have to do everything. So let's get into those. The first is software. Right now you should write down probably the 10 to 15 things you spend doing the most time on in your business. Then ask yourself, is there any piece of software that automates this process to the same degree that I can do it confidently? For me, it was reporting. That was a huge time suck every month. And if you're not reporting, then you're doing something wrong. But it was reporting. I would spend time doing all these, gathering these metrics and putting it in an Excel spreadsheet and making it look cool and sending it off to my clients each month. But then I discovered Google Data Studio. We already used analytics. We already used Search Console. We already used AdWords. We've already used all these different products that Google pulls in dynamically in real time that we can automate. So now my clients get a link and a PDF of their reports each month, and all we have to do is sit down and review it together. I have a standard meeting. It's to build good rapport. I think it helps customer lifetime value. And we go over those reports. But all of their phone calls that they have per month, their events, so clicks, lead magnet downloads, it's all automated. It's all automated through software. Audits. We have a very extensive audit process. We charge upwards of minimum $900 to $1,000 per audit. Part of that is completely automated. We use a tool called Screaming Frog. We just download and export that information into a spreadsheet that I've already made and customized. Instead of going through the website by hand, looking at all these different technical things, we use software. So the first step is you need to understand how to leverage different tools that you can use to automate parts of things that you're doing yourself that you don't need to be doing. Your zone of genius is not, if software can do it, it's not a good zone of genius. Quote me on that. Next is hiring. It's a scary word to some of you. You think it'll either be expensive, you think that you don't know how to do it, you're not sure what to offer, you're not sure how to make your money back that you're spending because you're not making enough, and that's understandable. I'll get into that in a second. Second to that is partnerships. Who you're working with. Are you working with others to grow and make your business more effective? So first with hiring. I'll tell a story to start because I think this illustrates how powerful this can be. In the beginning of my business, I would do a lot of the writing myself. I would do a lot of copywriting myself. And in the beginning, it was sort of necessary. I didn't have really any money, so everything. I wore a lot of hats, much like yourself. But then I realized that there are people that copyright for a living, and they do it so much better than me. They can afford to do it for $10 an hour, $5 an hour. My time was worth, at that time, I believe around $50 to $60 per hour. So you do the math. I would be writing, taking up all this time on a single client. It would take me a whole, maybe 10 to 15 hours to write this copy. When somebody could get that done in an hour or two, 3 hours, even 4 hours though is only $20 to $40. Whereas I could charge a couple hundred for that landing page. $950 for the whole campaign, building out a couple pieces of content that's optimized per month. Do you see how the math of delegating works out better in that favor, rather than you spending your $50, $60, $100 per hour time on these menial tasks? That's a good hiring decision, even at a point in my business when I only had 2 clients, because it helped me make more money and then go on to work with more clients. You shouldn't do any sort of data entry. I'll tell you another story. We do backlinking. We help clients and their websites gain authority through doing outreach and getting links from really authoritative sites pointed back at the websites we work at. It's a tedious process, right? It's expensive, takes a lot of time. Well, not for us. I have a process. So I need to find prospects for these backlinks. So instead of, I used to just search aimlessly throughout the internet looking for these opportunities. Now I have somebody for $10 an hour go find me a couple hundred prospects per month. Now we have another person that does the outreach and recording and writing the articles. But there's somebody that specifically and effectively, for not that much money, doing the outreach. So that's what hiring looks like if you don't have the money or infrastructure to justify it at the moment in your mind. Take a look at the things that you're spending time on that are menial and don't help move the needle. Start looking at getting rid of those and finding opportunities to pay somebody to free up your time to go get more business and work in your zone of genius. Partnerships. If there's somebody that can offer a service that is adjacent to yours, like if you do web design, you know a copywriter, or you're a copywriter, find somebody that does web design. Team up with them, and the both of you can offer a service that you charge a higher price point for and deliver better results for your client. I did this with web designers. A lot of them didn't have a strategy in place to bring in leads for their clients. Their clients wanted leads but knew that that wasn't what they offered. So I reached out to them and said, hey, I'll put together an SEO and content strategy. You just get me the introduction and my foot in the door. I'll do the rest. I've now done over 20K worth of projects using that model alone, just introductions. And you can do it too. You need to understand that there are things you should be doing and things you shouldn't. You need to understand, write these down, the things that you shouldn't, and find a way to either get rid of it through automation. That means understanding that you're either doing a process the exact same way every time, using a software, or hiring somebody or partnering up with somebody that offer what you cannot. That's how you start to level up. And this is so crucial. Business owners care about making money. You need to position yourself as being able to help business owners make money. It's all about the Benjamins. Some of them might care about traffic or clicks or impressions, but almost all of them, if they're actually profitable, care about revenue and profit. So what you need to do is focus on the activities that help move the needle most for their business and their revenue. Focus on these. You need to make sure that you're presenting your services as being able to earn them money. And if you're not able to do that, you need to add something to your offering that helps make money. Once you're sure that you're in the right headspace of making the company's money, you've got to be able to prove it. That's where tracking comes in. You should be tracking, if you're a copywriter, how the copy that you're sending out, what's the conversion rate if it's email? How many people are opening the messages? If you design landing pages for people's websites, how much organic traffic are they getting? How much clicks and downloads come from that? How many phone calls? Go look at different, if you're not using Google Analytics, it's free and you can track almost anything you can think of on their websites. Go use CallRail and implement it on their business to track phone calls through your efforts. You need to track all these different access and data points so that you can use them to do the fourth point. And that's proving your worth. Okay, nobody cares about your feelings or what you say you can do. They care about you being able to prove it. Now there is social proof, you have testimonials, reviews, things like that, but if you can say for every $2 you give me, I'll give you $5 back. You see how that's a sustainable model that any business owner would go for. But you have to track and let the data speak for itself. You have to be able to say that I know I can get you a 20% increase in revenue in 90 days because I've done it. And here's the proof. If you're not tracking, start tracking and start putting together data points from your past clients as proof, not only in conversation, but in your proposals and to yourself, to package your services correctly in a way that convinces owners that you can do what you say you can do, and what you say you can do is earn them more money. You won't have to worry about closing clients. They'll close themselves. Money talks. So now that you have all this knowledge, are you actually mentally prepared to make this transformation? Because if you don't think that you can do 20K in a month, you never will. If you don't think that you can hire or implement systems, you never will. Your mindset matters. You have to be ready and committed. This isn't going to happen overnight. It takes work. You need to understand your processes. You need to put in the work of implementing the tracking. You need to make those small steps and have those small failures to be able to come to a place where you're actually implementing this stuff on an ongoing basis. You need to test things, see what works, see what doesn't. If that sounds like you and you're ready to do what I've just mentioned and level up, get started. Go today. Rewatch the video. Rewatch this training. Figure out what you need to do to implement. And reach out, whether I sent this to you in a message, whether you downloaded it, whether you watched it. Reach out. I've got a program that'll take you from having 1, 2, 3 clients at small price points like you're doing right now to making 4 to 10K per month consistently and repeatably with clients that actually want to work with you. If that sounds like something you're interested in, get in touch with me. If there's a link, if there's a button, click it, schedule. Let's do this. It's time to level up. Stop waiting around. Stop playing small. Thanks for watching.